Three, and we're back.
And we're back. And we're back.
So we just finished the actual 40K episode this
All
time,
right. So there was a bit of mix up. I watched the first episode of Secret Levels,
which was based on D&D.
which was based on D&D, and for some reason, old man clicking around the thing, uh I thought I was watching Warhammer, and I didn't realize, to be fair, I didn't realize that Secret Levels had a D&D episode. I
Mm,
thought it was based on video games.
right, yeah.
And so I thought, oh, maybe Warhammer's a bit like D&D. And
Which one of its variants is, but
right.
yeah, no. So a quick tangent. I did really like the D&D episode. It was really nice.
Yeah, so did I. I thought it was great. And what I will throw out, what I really liked looking back at the D&D and now having watched this,
Mhm.
they're and these are the only two I've seen. They're definitely like teasers for like a whole series,
Yeah,
right?
no.
It's
This is
like,
this is as the name suggests, this secret level almost of
right.
like it's like
Yeah,
being given the controllers to a video game you've never played, and it's like the bonus the this secret kind of teasing level, and it's
right,
really awesome because it hooks you into the world, you know?
right.
And yeah, no, this series, all the episodes really could become actual shows.
And I've only watched two. I kind of feel like that's exactly what's happening, right?
Right?
Like they've made all these, and I have no idea. Maybe Pac-Man won't become a show. I have no idea. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is so it's so interesting.
It's so good.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
stuff is
Both of
made
them.
by people who care so much about what they're
Right.
making, you know?
Yeah. So I've only watched two. We just watched loved the D&D, you
Hmm.
know.
Warhammer is a bit.
But no. I mean, I don't know what I will say. I was, maybe preparing myself not to like Warhammer
Mhm.
somehow. I don't know why. I thought it was awesome. I mean, again, I don't know. I would watch a lot of this or play a
Mhm.
video. Me personally, play a video game that was within that world. It's just not what I do.
Right.
But it was amazing. Like there was so much going on,
Mhm.
right? The stop time, that, like, I had a lot of questions, right? Finally, we
Yeah.
had to agree, like, I would ask questions later. Totally fair. Like, who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? Who's a
Right.
human? Who's in a human? What's going on? Who's the voice? Like,
Right.
the thing, like, what did that, like,
Mhm.
there's just like so much going on,
Right.
right? But I can see there's like worlds and levels and backstories, and
Right.
so there's like this
Yeah.
whole kind of thing.
Right.
Obviously, as that terrible, terrible line suggests, like, there's nothing but war in the
Yeah, no, no.
nothing but war in the
The
future or
the
whatever, right?
intro cut, the intro scenes of in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium,
Yeah,
there is only war, and
yeah,
then it when the top part disappears, and then just still says there is only war.
yeah,
It wants to hammer into the idea that
yeah.
no, there's not just like a little bit of war and a ton of
Yeah,
like talking piece. No,
yeah, there is
there is
only
only
war.
war.
Yeah,
There's only war.
yeah,
You're not
yeah,
coming here for a peace hammer.
yeah. So, but in as much as this episode is mostly about Warhammer,
Mhm.
a little bit about the D&D mix up,
Yeah,
but also about the series in
right.
general, right? Um, I think that's great, and I think it's a really interesting way to introduce somebody like me. If this was like the Warhammer series,
Hmm.
I would watch it with you, but I would
Right.
never watch it on my own,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like, I could
Like,
see how I can see how I would not do it,
right.
but because it's connected to Secret Levels, I'm actually going to watch regardless of anything. I would personally, even without you, if I'd stumbled on this like through the Pac-Man thing or whatever, I don't
Hmm.
know what, I would have been interested to watch the whole series, and I'd get
Right.
exposed to this
Right.
in a way,
Like you may not, as like not a Warhammer fan, you wouldn't understand everything, but you would kind of like maybe get an idea of what's going on, and like you would be interested, and like
Yeah, I don't, if I was watching this on my own, I don't know that I would understand what, you get some general
right.
things. There's a
Yeah.
couple of sides here, and there's a voice and
Yeah.
some there's stuff. I still have mostly the same amount of questions. I
Yeah.
just mean that like because it's kind of connected to this series that has other things that I might be more attracted
Hmm.
to. I would have on my own
Hmm.
probably watched the whole
Right.
series anyways,
Right.
and be interested in
Right.
Warhammer. Like now I would, having watched this, I'm curious to see where it goes.
Right.
It's not a light
No, it's
watching.
it's not like, sitting on a train and like reading one book and like, okay, no, I get this. It's
Yeah,
the story and lore would if there's ever someone you don't want to be stuck in an elevator with because they're going to talk your ears off,
tell them you're a Warhammer fan.
yes, because as there was a funny meme I saw of that one Darth Vader scene where he's like killing all the guys in the hallway, and one of them's like banging the door, let us out, and like that's like saying like, yeah, the Darth Vader is the Warhammer friend. You don't want to be
Right.
because you're
Yeah.
gonna get stuck in
He's the number one Warhammer fan in the Star Wars universe. Eh?
yeah, but yeah, yeah. So this series is a great way to make other series. This is the a great way
Yeah,
to
it is
catch people
right. Yeah, yeah.
interest because like people might, you know what? I actually did really like that Warhammer episode.
Yeah.
I didn't fully get it, but
Yeah.
if they made a series, I'm sure they could,
Yeah.
teach me a few things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you have questions from the episode. Go ahead and ask. I
Well,
will
I've got a few
answer
questions,
everything.
but I'm also thinking let's keep this episode short and sweet. We've got a lot of things to
Yeah.
watch, kind of. But yeah, I mean, give me the short intro to like what's going on in the universe. What's going on in this
Right.
universe.
So in that situation, these guys are being these space marines of the ultramarine chapter. There's a ton and tons of them. Are being sent down to a planet because there's a demon problem. Demons are
But hold on, back
right,
all the way up, right? Like,
right,
there's a guy who says humans are
weak. These
weak,
so these
and then
guys
there's
are
we see someone, and you tell me he's a human mutant mix or something, right? Right?
yeah.
And
So
that
these
guy goes into another planet, and there's other kind of human looking guys, or
right. Okay.
so.
So
But what's the big picture in
okay
the
the big
universe, right?
picture. Okay, this is a all right. So the main premise of this thing is that these guys are being sent down to destroy this dangerous artifact. And like these kinds of artifacts, they can destroy whole like solar systems if they get out of hand or worse, or worse. So these guys are being sent down to kill them. The kid at the beginning and throughout the end is a person called Titus. Titus was like found by I forget his name, but like the guy in like the red helmet and was raised up into a space marine because he showed that he had no fear. That like,
Mhm.
he was willing to fight and kill because he was angry.
Okay. So that's Titus, the Space Marine, and that's
Hmm.
good. And they're Space Marines.
Right.
But like who are the good guys, the bad guys, who are the cowboys, who are
Right. The
whatever. Like
the
who's
who
God and who's
who
Thor and
who,
who's
all
Spider-Man
right.
and who's,
Well, the good guys on a short and easy answer is the Space Marines. Because they're killing these guys. Because if they don't, the problem that's on that world
but
is
who
going to
does
spread
it
out
but are
everywhere.
the space like who like but the Space Marines seem to be like slaves to me or something. Like
They
so
were
who are they
taken
slaves
as
to? I'm saying like give
right.
me a
Okay.
start at the top and go
At
down.
so at the highest level of the Imperium is a
Yeah.
man. and being
So
called the God
there's an
Emperor.
Imperium that
Yeah,
rules the universe.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
the God Emperor is the most important figure. Like throughout the episode, you kind of saw like sometimes weapons would have like falcon wings or something.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
That's the symbol of the Imperium and the symbol of the God Emperor. The God Emperor is extremely important for a ton of reasons. One of them
Because he's the
being,
God Emperor.
yeah, basically, he's the only reason humans are able to travel between systems because he's holding this kind of field of evil at bay, allowing humans to go to and fro. Without him, the Imperium would fail because
Okay. So
nothing
sorry,
would.
is the Imperium humans or
Yeah, the Imperium is humans
and
and
modified humans?
yeah, a few like humans that are from a maybe like a environment where there's a really powerful like a few ab humans as they're
So the
called.
voice that we hear at the start, like I'm trying to
Right.
understand, is the voice this God, or is this
No,
voice
this
this whole other race
this the
that's
voice that
above
we hear
humans?
throughout the episode is actually one of the Space Marines, like the captain, who's kind of like thinking in his head, like, I made you into this warrior.
And when he says that thing about humans are only good for this, that, and the
Right,
other,
he's saying that because he's above humans now. His job is basically to kill all the aliens, the monsters, and protect humans. Because
okay.
humans themselves,
Oh,
honestly,
because
fighting any of the
he's a
others,
modified
yeah,
human or
he's
whatever. Okay.
he's gone through
Because
centuries of
okay.
like
Because I
brainwashing and
wasn't I
training and
right. I wasn't sure if there was like a I was just trying to
right
understand. So it's not like there's some other race of aliens or something that
are controlling them.
are controlling them.
No, there are a ton of aliens out there.
Hmm.
Most of them, all of them are evil, including the Imperium.
Okay. So the Imperium is one or multi.
The the Imperium as a whole is a conglomerate of different organizations working. A lot
It
of times failing, but
non
working together.
non-human or mix
There's
or
basically all of them are humans. Some of them, called the Mechanicus, are like the only people who know how to make tech and have, as like any sci-fi stuff, more tech than human. But like most are human or abhuman, who are like, you know, they're maybe bigger because of like a increase in gravity on their home world,
right.
or like I don't know, like there's some strange thing about them that they're basically human, but with sent thousands of years of like slight changes because they're on a different planet.
Okay. Okay. So
In
there's like, and
there's
I'm just surprised that you know so much about
yeah,
a game that you don't play.
well, I
But
mainly watch YouTube videos, but the lore of Warhammer 40K is very thick.
and is it prevalent that like do you encounter people referencing it in in the other stuff that you do like online and stuff?
Times
Like
Warhammer
why if
isn't
you for someone who's not like fully into it, how come you know so much? Or just because you're interested in it or
W- yeah, like Warhammer is an interesting thing to like listen to think about, to like watch people talk about, to talk to other people about.
people take it very seriously and
Oh,
it's a serious
yeah,
kind of
like
yeah.
like anything, like any, like fandom, there are people who, like take it lighthearted and people who I would not want to be with.
Stuck stuck in an elevator,
There's
right?
people
That's
who know all the lore and people who are like,
living the Lord.
you are doing it wrong. You're wrong. I don't like any new people in there because they're polluting the setting. They're terrible. Those kind of people.
Right.
Yeah, so the
And,
Warhammer setting is a, like the thing entails, grimdark.
right.
The Imperium is a xenocidal empire that's barely clinging on, and only so because they have faith. and very little else. Like most of mankind lives in squalor. The few technologies that exist are slowly decaying, and no one's smart enough to, well, technically it's banned to actually try to research because everything made 10,000 years ago is a-okay, people. We're not changing anything. Though that's kind of skirted around. So the Imperium sucks. But their one saving technical grace is that, hey, we're the human faction. Basically, no one else likes humans. And
And
every
and so sorry, the guys that we saw drop to the planet and
Mhm.
in the suits and all that, they work for the Imperium?
Yeah, they're part of
Yeah,
the Imperium.
part of the
There's
Imperium.
like
Okay.
they make up like a percentage of the military. They don't make up all of it.
Right.
There's
But they're
like
like the Halo guys,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
they're
These guys are the elite warriors you
right.
send in
Yeah.
when you can't send in
Yeah.
10,000 humans to
Okay.
die.
Okay. Okay. And and in the game Warhammer, those guys is like I would put one of those guys would be my character on the board, and the other characters would be coming at us, kind of thing, or
I
you're not too
In the
sure.
board game, I'm not exactly sure. I
Hmm.
don't know. However, the guy that was referenced a lot, Titus, isn't to other games, like video games.
Oh,
So that's why,
so
people
sorry.
really talk.
There are Warhammer video games,
Yeah, a few Warhammer video games
but
and
not too many.
shows.
Oh, shows.
It's the shows are more like PowerPoint slides, some of
Oh,
them.
okay.
Like I watched them and there are less frames in that than there you would actually see in a PowerPoint frame.
Right.
Like
Okay.
it's
Okay.
interesting. But yeah, like it's mainly the board games, a ton of books, a few games, and like a show or
Hmm.
two.
I wonder if anyone's ever done a TED Talk on Warhammer. Maybe.
Maybe. The Warhammer setting is a slightly difficult topic to get into because of the source of it. The Imperium is a terrible
Hmm.
place no one would want to live in, and
Yeah.
like it's kind of hard to like talk about because of how evil it
Right.
is.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, no, this was an awesome episode. I really
Yeah.
liked it. The only thing I didn't like about how a bit was how short it was.
Right. But that's the nature
Yeah, like
of
this
this
is
secret level.
it's a
It's like
hook to like
yeah, yeah,
drag you
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. It's so true. It's this
Mhm.
secret level. It's just like this. I mean, I'm super excited to watch some more episodes,
Yeah, definitely.
and also I'm super excited for the fact that some of them, probably not all of them, a couple of them or many of them, who knows, are going to turn into series,
Yeah,
right? And that's going to be great, great
yeah.
stuff.
We've
So
seen you and I have seen one or two, maybe three uh games that have actual shows about. And
mhm.
in fact, those shows are actually amazing, like the Fallout show.
Right.
I don't think you've watched it, but The Last of Us.
Yeah.
These kinds of shows, surprisingly, don't fit them or breaking the mold of new ones, actually turning video games into shows and actually making them great.
Right. New ways to do that.
Yeah,
Cool. All right. Well, somewhat quick episode focused on a an episode and a half.
yeah, yeah. We can't wait for the upcoming ones. Maybe we'll watch the Pac-Man together.
yeah.
I definitely want to watch Concord. That episode is going to
And
be
you
an
know what's interesting?
ironic
And
twist.
I was listening to CBC actually this week. They have a video, they had an episode on top, best video games of the year or something like that, and they were mentioning that. I'll share.
Concord, oh,
Yeah, they
interesting.
were talking about Concord, so I'll share that with
It's
you. So
I'm definitely looking forward to Concord because it's interesting history.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll definitely see each other soon because
Yep.
the Silos released a new episode,
Yep. We're
so we're
good.
gonna have to watch that and a
Exactly.
few of my other
Yep.
stuff. But
So,
yeah,
thanks for watching. Keep following, keep subscribing, and
leave your
leave
comments.
your comments, and we'll see you soon
Yeah, until we meet again.
until we meet again.